loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Tyla. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today is going to be all about how I got out of my depression and went to feeling my absolute best, literally the best that I've ever felt in my life. So if you're interested, let's get into it. Okay, so for me personally, the peak years of my depression were really mainly 2021 to 2022. That's when it was the absolute worst. I think it was mostly 2021. I'm not sure. But I have experienced depression in other stages of my life, but it wasn't as bad as that point. At that point, it got to where I was feeling suicidal, I was self-harming, I was using a lot of substances. Well, not a lot, but I was using substances to cope, and I was in a really, really dark place. Okay, so I just want to make a quick disclaimer. I am by no means a professional. If you need professional help, make sure to get professional help, okay? These are just the tips and the things that really did help me in that time, because I did end up getting therapy, but for the most part, I really overcame it myself. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. That's just a disclaimer. This is just my personal advice. If it worked for me, it may work for some out there as well. Okay, so for starters, when I first was going through my depression, I did not want to tell anybody at all. I did not want anybody to know, because back then I wasn't as open about it. I wasn't as comfortable talking about my emotions as I am now. I was in a completely different time period, mindset, headspace, all of that. And a lot of people around me back then didn't really understand it. And that is one thing that is so hard about when it comes to mental health and depression. A lot of people, they do not take mental health serious, which is sad because we live in a world where things are just so crazy, and you know, it should be taken serious, but it's not. So the worst thing that you can do is isolate yourself. And I got to a point where it was getting so bad where I had to start telling people, and not only that, but people started to notice. So I told somebody that I was dating at the time, and they really were a good support system for me. They really helped me, and that was the first step. So make sure that you speak up about it. Do not go through that alone, because it's going to be so hard to get out of that by yourself. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's definitely 10 times harder, and you do not have to deal with it alone. Now, if you are able to, I would highly recommend therapy. I think I have a video on my therapy experience. I did it through BetterHelp. Now, I did get a code from somebody, so I was able to get a discount. And therapy is expensive, so I know not everybody has access to this option, but if you do, I highly recommend it. Now, you may need to try out a couple therapists first, because a lot of people say, oh, therapy doesn't help, it doesn't help. It doesn't help if you are not willing to change. You have to actually want to be better and want the help, because a therapist is really just there to be a listening ear. And not only that, but they have more experience and more knowledge when it comes to psychology and the mind and how it works and things like that. So a lot of the things that they talk about in therapy, you can find online. You don't necessarily need it. But if you don't have anybody in your circle that you feel comfortable talking to, that's when I would say, yeah, definitely try it out, because it did help me. I got really lucky. I found a great therapist on the first try, and it helped a lot because back then, I didn't trust nobody. I did not feel comfortable talking to anybody about anything that I had going on in my life. And my therapist was there. She helped me to see things from a different perspective as well, because when you are in that place, it's very hard for you to think clearly and logically. So my therapist, there were certain things that I would go through and I would speak to her about it. And she would help me see a completely different side to it, which really helped me to just feel more positive, have more faith, and kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel during that really dark time. So I would say that as well. Now, the next thing that I did after speaking up to somebody about it is I just gave myself a break. I literally took a break from the world, took a step back, and allowed myself to process my emotions and what I was going through. I allowed myself to rest and to just, just be present. Not do anything, not focus on anything, just allow myself to release everything that I was feeling. Now, when it comes to depression, everybody's cause of it is different. So you need that period of time where you just grieve and you just allow yourself to just be and to just feel and release everything that you're feeling. Now, I had a lot of repressed sadness, anger, frustration, a lot of different emotions going through my mind at that time. And so I allow myself to feel those emotions. A lot of times when we are depressed and we are going through those emotions, we use substances and things to cope because we don't want to feel what it is that we're feeling and the emotions that are coming up. But it's very important that you don't do that, because that's a part of the healing process. You do not suppress the things that you are feeling. So with me having used substances at those times, which were alcohol and weed for me personally, I had to kind of lean off of that, and that made it a little bit hard because I started feeling everything that I was feeling, and I just gave myself the time to actually feel those emotions and just say, you know what, I'm angry, so I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna punch something, I'm gonna write about it, I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna cry about it. Allow yourself to feel everything that is coming up. Okay, so another thing that really helped me, especially in that process of releasing all of the toxic things that I was using to cope, because that's also very important that you stop using whatever it is that you're using to cope with your depression. Now, for me, like I said, it was alcohol and weed. For others, it may be things that are a little bit more extreme. I also was self-harming, so I did have to stop that as well. And it was hard to not do any of those things, especially because it became a habit. It was like a daily routine for me. So for me personally, I turned to prayer. Now, I know not everybody that's watching this may be religious or spiritual or have any beliefs in anything higher, but literally, guys, that helped me so much, because after you pray, you really just have a sense of relief and peace. It's like an overwhelming feeling of relief. Yeah, guys, because it got so bad to the point where literally all I could do was pray. I was tired of running from God, and there was times when I would think about praying, and it was just so hard for me, because at that point I knew it was more than just the obstacles and things that I was experiencing in life. It was actually a spiritual warfare that I was going through. So after I kind of gave myself that time to just feel everything that I was feeling and rest, when I finally started feeling like I was in the mood to get up and do things, that's when I started incorporating healthy routines. So the most important thing was starting my day off on the right foot. Now, when you are depressed, it's hard to do anything. It's hard to get out of bed. It's hard to shower. It's hard to brush your teeth. It's hard to eat. It's hard to do literally anything. So what I would do is when I would get up, I would, go take a shower, brush my teeth, wash my face, get dressed up, because that really helped. When you look good, you feel good, and when you take care of yourself, you feel good. So I would do that, and then I would start meditating. Now, meditation literally has been a game changer. Ever since I started meditating, I have not stopped, because it makes such a difference, especially if you are somebody that overthinks. Me, I overthink, so meditation really helps me to just calm down my mind and to be present and to just release everything. It's that one moment in the day where I say, forget everything else that's going on. I am here, I am present, and I am focused on this moment and nothing else. That helped to ease my anxiety. It helps to ease my stress. It helps to ease my depression. And I also started incorporating yoga. Now, yoga is really good because it helps to release stagnant energy from the body. And we carry a lot of stress, trauma in our body, especially in our hips and in our shoulders. So getting up and stretching and just moving your body, whether that's working out, going for a run, doing some push-ups, just stretching in general, is going to help a lot. So I started incorporating that as well. And then I would do like my prayer and I would journal. Now, journaling is really good, especially first thing in the morning, because it helps you to clear your mind and to really have a clear start for the day. I would just sit and I would write everything that was on my mind. The first things that would come to my mind, I would just write, and I would keep writing until I felt like I didn't have anything else to say. That is going to also be a game changer for you if you are, experiencing the things that you're going through. So I would recommend that as well. Another thing that I started doing was just taking better care of myself and enhancing the quality of my lifestyle. Now, before, I didn't have skincare routines. I didn't have body care routines. I didn't really, take time to really pour into myself in those ways. So I started developing a skincare routine. I started taking care of my skin. I started taking better care of my body. I always drink water, but I would drink a lot of water. I would eat healthier. I would cut out a lot of the sugars and the alcohol and all of that stuff, because that also does lead to you having not only low energy, but affecting your mood in negative ways. And it can increase your depression if you're depressed and you're eating and consuming certain things. So I started taking better care of myself in those aspects. And once I started pouring into myself in these ways, I just started to feel better. Like my energy was better. I started looking better. I was glowing from the inside out. I felt, like I was just in a different type of mindset. I was feeling more like myself, and not only that, but a more improved version of myself. And what I also did that I highly recommend is to get rid of everything that just does not serve you. It can be people, it can be things, it can be places that you used to go to. Get rid of it all. Anything that reminds you of that period in your life, I would highly recommend to get rid of. I got rid of so many clothes. I got rid of items, things like that. All of that type of stuff does also hold energy. So I would recommend to get rid of old things that you may have. And I did this because I just wanted to start a new life and to just become a new version of myself and step into that and really embody that. So I started updating my wardrobe. I bought new clothes. I started taking time to actually buy things that would help enhance me and my space. So another thing that I started doing was I started reading books and listening to podcasts. Now, me personally, I am very into like self-help, self-growth, and development. So those are the types of books that I would read, and that also helped me to heal and overcome the things that I was going through. Okay, so I did grab some of the books that I have. This is just a few of my favorites. But I got this one, for example, Attention Management, How to Create Success and Gain Productivity Every Day. When I was depressed, it was very hard for me to be productive and disciplined. So I started reading books like this. And this is by Maura Neville Thomas. Control Your Attention, Control Your Life. This is a really good book. I also got 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. So this is by Amy Morin. Take back your power, embrace change, face your fears, and train your brain for happiness and success. I highly recommend this book as well. This was a really good read. Also got this one. It's called Broken Open, How Difficult Times Can Help Us Grow. This is by Elizabeth Lesser. And of course, The Secret. I've read this years ago, but I actually ended up finding this at the thrift store, and I was so shocked that I got my hands on an actual copy of The Secret. But there is also a movie. It was on Netflix. I don't think it's there anymore, but I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. This is really good because it talks about the law of attraction, manifestation, and things like that. Now, I did have some other books that I read, and I cannot find them, but I also don't want to take them all down. So yeah, once I started reading, that also helped change my mindset so much, and it really helped me to just mature and evolve into the person that I wanted to be. Now, when you are going through your depression and you're going through these things, it's very hard for you to really envision your future. But trust me, you are going to overcome it and you're going to get out of it. You're not going to be in that space forever. And I could have sworn, like if somebody were to ask me, I could have sworn I was going to be in that space forever and I was never going to be happy ever again. And I ended up just really living my life. After experiencing that, I ended up having the best years of my life. Literally, your best years are yet to come. I promise you that. And I ended up traveling. I ended up doing so many amazing things. I ended up accomplishing so many things when it came to just my art, when it came to modeling. I really just enhanced my life and everything just transformed for me. And that's because I made the decision to get better. I genuinely did not want to be in that place because I also knew that I wanted to be here. A lot of times when you're depressed, you want to leave only because you just want that pain to stop. It's not really necessarily because you don't want to be here anymore. You just don't want to feel the way that you feel. And that's a thing that you have to really distinguish within yourself to know, okay, hey, I am going through this and it's painful and it hurts, but I do want to live a better life. I do want to be happy. I do want to experience things. There's still so much more that I want to do out there, and it is very possible. And I just envisioned who it was that I wanted to be in the future, and I stepped into that version of myself. I started making the conscious decisions, and it did take time, like I said, but I overcame it with all of these things that I spoke about, and that's what really helped me. And I just feel even better now. And not only that, but going through that, it makes you so strong. I'm telling you, if you can make it through being depressed and wanting to leave the earth, you are God's strongest warrior. Like, there's nothing that you cannot overcome. And I need you to know that, because that is hard. Like, not a lot of people experience that and go through that. And I don't think people understand how hard it is to actually deal with that. And I know a lot of times society tries to make it seem like people that do struggle with their mental health are weak. No, you are strong. It takes a strong person to experience certain things and certain traumas and certain events in their life and still keep going and still keep pushing forward. I'm telling you, ever since I experienced that, there's nothing that I can't overcome now. Literally, like nothing tops that. When you feel the lowest that you've ever felt and you're at the bottom and there's just no, you just have no hope and all hope is lost, this only up from there. You can't go any further down unless you just disappear. There's only up. And with that being said as well, that means that anything else that you experience 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to make it through. So you just have to keep that in mind and you have to keep pushing forward. I really do wish the best for everybody that is watching this video. And it's a new year, and look, life has so much to offer. You can create anything that you want in this life. You can have whatever you want, and you just have to believe. That's why you should get this book, The Secret. It's going to really help you to change your mindset, change your environment. If you have people around you that are causing your depression, get them out of here. Get rid of them. Whether it's habits too, if you have negative habits and you know that you need to stop doing certain things, stop doing it for yourself. Because too, the thing is, the longer that you take to release these people, to release these habits, the longer that it's going to take for you to really break free from that and to step into that newer version of yourself. So the sooner that you do it, the better. And I also want to leave you guys with a prayer. So close your eyes and bow your heads. So God, thank you so much for this day. I thank you, God, for everybody that has joined me today in this video. I want to take the time, Lord, to pray for everybody that is watching this video. Anybody that may be struggling right now and going through a hard time and that has lost hope. God, I pray and I ask that you restore their faith. I ask that you restore their sense of hope. I ask that you restore their life and their purpose, that you give them the strength to overcome anything that they may be dealing with, that you release them from any and all burdens, that you bring them a sense of peace of mind, body, and spirit, that you give them the strength that they need to overcome all challenges, and that you be there with them each and every step of the way. I pray, God, that you help them to flourish, that you help them to blossom, and that you help them to take all of these challenges and obstacles and make it into something amazing and something beautiful. I pray and I ask, God, that you help them to get on track with their purpose, that you help them to fulfill their life's purpose, and that you help them to experience the most peace, bliss, happiness, and success that they have ever experienced in their life. I pray, God, that you be their source of light and guidance during these times. I pray that you give them strength and hope. I thank you so much for everybody that is watching this, and I pray and I ask that you just continue to guide them in the right direction, that you remove anything from their life that may be causing them these burdens, and I pray that you replace everything negative in their life with things that are going to fulfill them and uplift them and make them happy. I thank you so much, Lord, for everybody that is subscribed, and I wish them all the best, and I wish them everything that their heart desires within 2024. Thank you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So I thank you guys for watching this video. I wish you all the best. You got this. Trust me, you got this. And I love you. If nobody else has told you, you mean the world. You are amazing. You are capable. You are strong. You are brilliant. You are intelligent. And you are beautiful. And I love you guys so much, okay? Peace out. I will see you guys in my next video. Subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Share with somebody that you feel it may benefit. And I will see you guys next time.
Look at the streets, you are not my mate. If you become a chef, not be head of state. But my people then go say, I know one bite, I know one die.